Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Tyler. Welcome back to the Tyler Williams channel, and welcome to a bit of a update video. I haven't really done a video or live stream or really posted anything on my community page in the last like 3 days. Um, I'm fine. I don't have the CV. If you guys are wondering, I don't have any. I don't have any symptoms. You guys wondering why I'm not posting? It's just that I had a lot on my mind lately. There's really two things I wanted to cover in this video, and the first thing I wanted to cover was the main topic, which is WrestleMania weekend. As you guys know, WrestleMania 36 is scheduled to play. My dog wants to come in my room. And the one topic I wanted to talk about in this video was WrestleMania 36, which is scheduled to take place on April the 5th. Now that seems to be more so not going to take place. I mean, unless you're living under a rock, and I think even if you're living under a rock, there's no way you can't know about this because it's global. It's a nationwide pandemic going on with the CV. I don't want to get a video taken. Might as well, because the coronavirus. If this video gets demonetized, it's whatever. I don't really care. Basically, the coronavirus has now spread to almost every country in the world. We have estimated over 100,000 cases almost at this point. Several deaths in the thousands. It's really ridiculous, and it's very scary. It's very scary. I work in a warehouse, and it's really insane. Just a few days ago, when this all became like a worldwide pandemic, we had 22,000 people enter in the warehouse to come in, and every single day, toilet paper is being sold out 30 minutes in, water being sold out 2 hours in. It's really been crazy. My job's been like loading me up with hours, and now that in my state, and I'm sure a lot of other states, we're basically about to go on lockdown to the point where a lot of these places are getting closed down. Mine is not. Luckily for me, I'm fortunate enough to not be out of work. I work in an area where we basically have to stay open because people need essentials and food and stuff like that. We have that stuff, so we kind of have to, unless like the president steps in and says that everything is shut down, we're staying open. So I get to work. Now, my hours are being cut, so I'm not going to work as often, but I'm still going to be able to go and make a paycheck. And I can't say the same for everybody else, especially a lot of independent wrestlers who are out of a job, basically, until this all blows over, and we don't know what that's going to be. It's just really been crazy. It's been making me think about, okay, well, this is all going on. Is WrestleMania is basically almost out of the question. We've known this for the last, like, 2 weeks now. WrestleMania. We had a question after the NBA. Look, I'm wearing my 76ers shirt, even though I'm not a 76ers fan. The NBA is shutting down the season. The NFL, basically every major sports league, every entertainment services, movies, Hollywood is shut down. Everything is being shut down. Pro wrestling seems like it's trying to keep going, but it just seems like it's not possible. WrestleMania is the biggest pro wrestling event of the year, and that seems to be the only major event really in the entire world that's just not shut down because WWE, for whatever reason, whether it be rumored because insurance policy reasons or because Vince McMahon is stubborn, it's just not shut down. Until tomorrow, I think tomorrow's when we're going to find out. Well, we're probably going to know at that point that it is postponed or canceled. WrestleMania is still going forward as of right now. And for somebody who doesn't have a ticket to WrestleMania 36, I plan to go to WrestleMania weekend. I had my tickets booked. I had, one-way passes to and from Tampa, from Philadelphia. I had tickets to Joey Janela's Spring Break. I had front row tickets to For the Culture. I had tickets to Jimmy Lloyd's D-Generation F show. It was a free show, but you pay a little bit of money, you get front row tickets. I have front row tickets to that. I was going to go to Effie's Big Gay Brunch. I was going to go to WrestleCon. Last year, I didn't go to WrestleMania 35, but I went to a bunch of wrestling independent promotions, and I think I had one of the best times of my life going to all of those shows. I met so many cool people, and I even met one of my fans in that show. I met Logan and Marco Stunt through there, and they're a really good friend of mine. And I had a great time, and I feel like, I don't want to sound selfish, but I kind of got deprived of a vacation at that point. I what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to? Oh shit! Am I? Don't worry about that. My throat's dry. I have water right here. I've really been out all day and I still have to go to work. I had to go to the podiatrist, then I had to go to point A, point B. So I've been driving around. I haven't drinking any water today. Try to make this video as raw and unedited as possible, but I'm gonna end up making edits too. I don't know. I had my Airbnb booked. Me and Logan, we had an Airbnb booked. We've gotten refunds on that yesterday. We're basically trying to figure out what we're doing with everything else. I mean, with flights, I can't really even think that American Airlines is going to give me a refund unless I tell them that the event I'm going to has been canceled. And yes, I have not bought a ticket, nor do I plan to buy a ticket to WrestleMania 36. But if I tell them, hey, I was going to this city, can I get a refund? They're going to be like, no. So it's like, okay, well, I was going to WrestleMania and that's just been canceled by the city, and they might see what they can do. I feel like I have a better chance of getting a refund if this event gets canceled. I don't think they're going to hear, oh, WrestleCon got canceled. We got to review. Like, they're not going to jump to that. They don't know what WrestleCon is. So that's kind of what I've been waiting for. And I feel like the days are going by and I don't know anything. It's greatly harming myself, people who paid like tickets for it. It really pisses me off that WWE is just being so selfish to hold out and not cancel WrestleMania, knowing damn well it's going to be canceled no matter what. I don't see any scenario where the city of Tampa is going to allow this to be held. Even if the city of Tampa goes through with it, I don't see a scenario where the president of the United States, like him or not, I don't see a scenario where Donald Trump is just going to allow this to happen. If the NFL and NBA and every other league is what makes you think pro wrestling is just the exception? It's not going to happen. And you might not like me for saying this, but I feel like if you're a pro wrestling fan and you were determined to go to WrestleMania no matter what, you're just as selfish as WWE is, because this is an airborne sickness as well. You're going to a event with 40,000 or however many people. That's a very, very dangerous situation. And if you have it, I'm not saying you do, but if you had it, you could spread it. If someone else goes and they had it, they could spread it to you and your family members, and you go back home, and if you get screened, you get pulled to the side, you get quarantined for 2 weeks, or you spread it to other people and they spread it to more people. It just will cause a humongous conundrum. And I feel like if you were one of these people who were just dead set, Vince is not going to cancel it, I'm going, like, I just couldn't believe some of the people I was seeing on Twitter that were just so eager and trying to hold out hope. It's like, are you kidding me? You still want to do this? After everything that's been said, this is not just some mass hysteria at this point. This isn't just some, overblown flu. It's 10 times worse than, read up online, it's 10 times worse than a flu. And I'm not just pointing at the people who want to go. This is mainly WWE, because at this point, there are people who want to go, and unless WWE pulls out, they're going to try and go to WrestleMania. It's like, I feel like unless everything WrestleMania Mika is done, people are still going to try to go to Tampa no matter what. And it's just weird to me. I don't understand how people want to do that. So one of the things I wanted to talk about after that little rant I went into there, one of the things I did want to talk about was the events I'm going to. I already listed 3. I was going to Joey Janela's Spring Break, Jimmy Lloyd's D-Generation F, and I was going to, why did I forget the last one? Oh, For the Culture, which was GCW, AJ Gray, whatever. I was going to WrestleCon Super Show, but I didn't get a ticket to that. Thank God I didn't get a ticket to that. I also got a ticket to a meet and greet with Chris Jericho, which I'm 100% certain is going to get canceled, which disappoints me greatly because, as you guys know, Chris Jericho is my all-time favorite wrestler. It would have been an absolute honor to finally meet my idol. But, maybe today wasn't the time. Now wasn't the time, I guess. I'll meet him somewhere else down the line, but that's done. So a lot of people are probably wondering about refunds and whatnot, and I've been thinking about it for the last few days, and I've made the conscious decision that, all these events can just have my money. I'm not, as much as you guys like to think I'm rich, I'm really not. I live in an apartment complex. If I was rich, I would be living in a house way further than the city I live in. The city I live in is not the safest city in the world. Let's just say that much. I don't live in the most luxurious area. I don't have everything I want in life. I work at a job. I'm part time. I don't make as much money as people think I do. So this notion that I have a lot of money to travel, I just save up. That's all I do. I just save up and I'm able to travel. That's really all the scenario that's going on here. So would I like to get my money back? Yes, I would like to get the $400 I spent on tickets and everything else. But pro wrestling needs the money more than I do right now. Pro wrestling, it seems like we're nearing a pro wrestling hiatus. WWE and AEW get to hold events with no people. Before how long? How long? And I don't hope this happens. I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, do not hope this happens. But how long until we get a report that a wrestler from WWE has the coronavirus? If that happens, I believe they're getting shut down until this is all over. They're not going to have any more no people shows. It's just done for them. I think the governor, the state, the president will have to shut WWE down. If WWE gets shut down, I'm sure AEW will too. If the reverse happens, it's going to happen at the other I feel like what we're seeing right now, the only two wrestling promotions that really are going to run is WWE and AEW, and I feel like we might be on time with both of these companies. If they go down, there is no other pro wrestling's going on. Everything else has been canceled. They're put on hiatus. No other wrestling company is going to dare run because they're going against the state, and the state's going to say no. So every other pro wrestling company is not running anything. These businesses are possibly going out of these wrestling promotions are probably going out of business because they can't run. They have to refund a bunch of people their money. They have to refund the talent. They have to get money back or pay back all the venues that they're running and the hotels that they rented out. And I just feel so bad for them. And especially the wrestlers who rely on this to get by day by day and pay their bills. They can't pay their bills if they're not wrestling. So if they can't wrestle for, God forbid, months on end, that's money they're not making. And you guys already know I'm sure there's a lot of places in your area that are shut down because the state will not allow them to run. So you can't just apply for a job at the moment and just get hired on the spot, because the likely chances are the places you're trying to get hired at, they might not be running, at all. Or some cases they might be giving you very little hours, and they might be trying to hire anybody else because it's well, we have enough people. We don't need any more people. Or I don't know what the situation is, but it's going to be a struggle for the pro wrestling industry. And I feel like at this point in time, the $300 I spent on tickets, you know what, GCW or whoever I spent money on, they could just have it. They could keep it. And if it keeps them afloat, at least for a little bit, it keeps my mind at peace. I feel like, me personally, I don't know if I could sleep well if I got my money back and something happened to the company where they got foreclosed or they got closed down or something. I feel like it would be on my conscience, and I couldn't have that. So I'm like, you know what? Just take my money. Now, I know WrestleCon is saying they're going to refund people no matter what. If they want to do that, they can. If it's an option, I would opt. They just keep my money for the Chris Jericho meet and greet. I don't think it's going straight to Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho, I love him to death, but I'm sure he doesn't need it. I'm sure he's well off. But if it goes to WrestleCon, then keep my money. For the culture, it was going to be a predominantly ethnic show. I was most excited for that out of anything that weekend, because it's so important to the black community and Hispanic community and everybody else for this show to happen. And that's basically, I'm sure that's going to be canceled. I'll be shocked if that still happens, but I'm sure it's going to be canceled. And that's a big blow, really, I feel like, to the community. And, they could just keep my money as well. The other one was Jimmy Lloyd's D-Generation F, just keep my money. Joey Janela's Spring Break was going to be a big show, a big profit, but, GCW, just keep my money. It's whatever. Airbnb, I got a refund on that. The only thing I'm waiting on a refund for is my flight, which I'm waiting for WrestleMania to get canceled for. So that's basically all I want to say. WrestleMania either will, there is not a will. I'm almost 100% it's going to be canceled, or it's going to be postponed. And when it does, I'll do a video on it. But after that, I don't think I'm doing any more videos on the coronavirus. It's already depressing enough to talk about this. I really don't want my channel to be a coronavirus channel, or a channel where I keep on informing you guys, oh, this has been canceled, this promotion. I don't want to be one of those channels. That's sad. That's just sad. I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. you guys come to YouTube and come to channels like me to escape from this kind of stuff. I don't want you guys to worry about it in real life and then come here and then you got to worry about that too. Like, I do that enough. Like, I go to work and I'm worried that, what if someone comes in and they have it and then they spread it to everybody at my job and then I have it? That's kind of one of my fears, is that I might somehow indirectly end up getting it. But, life moves on. So, I don't want you guys to worry about that. I want you guys to just be entertained. And that's what I've been doing the last few days, is think about what am I going to do with YouTube. If this harms content creators as well, and I'm not trying to make it feel like we are being the most harmed in the wrestling community, because think about it. We're probably the least of your worry. But for wrestling YouTubers out there, I'm one who reviews a lot of New Japan and Stardom. They're both indefinitely just not doing shows because Japan is a little bit more hurt than the US is right now. Stardom, New Japan have canceled all those shows for the month of March, and I'm sure it's probably going to continue until this blows over. WWE is doing shows, but you guys know I could not care any more about WWE. Wrestlemania, I was interested in for Edge versus Randy Orton. Call me a hypocrite, but I was interested in that match because the feud was great. I was interested in Drew versus Brock Lesnar because Drew McIntyre is awesome, and I've been following his career since he debuted in 2009, and him having that moment potentially would have been a full circle and it would have been awesome. And I was also interested in, a few other matches on the show, and that's really it. I don't really care about anything else WWE at the moment. NXT, my interest in that has been dwindling these last few months, and that's really because I just feel like there's something about NXT that's just really not catching my eye at the moment. I feel like the Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai storyline is really mellowed out in a way, and that was the one storyline I was most interested in, and that's just Charlotte Flair is now basically about to take over the women's division, and that really just gets me the wrong way, and that kind of has been affecting how I look at NXT at the moment, that they got to rely on stars of the main roster to come down and help NXT get the ratings up. Like, that just makes me look at them like, what does that say about your main roster, about your roster at NXT? But that's besides the point. With WWE, I don't really care too much about what's going on over there. The only thing on this channel to talk about that would actually be operating is AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And like I said, I don't know for how long that's going to be operating for. We can be hopeful that it's going to last forever and they're going to keep going and they're going to surpass this virus, but nobody knows for sure. Nobody knows for sure. And that's a scary thing. I mean, if the AEW goes down, it's like, okay, what do I have to talk about? There's no Wednesday Night War streams. There's no New Japan reviews. There's no Stardom reviews. What do I do? What do I do? I had the Chill Pill podcast. I call it the Chill Pill podcast for a reason, not the Chill Pill Wrestling podcast, but the Chill Pill podcast, because if anything comes down to it, I could talk about whatever the hell I want on that podcast. I could just talk about anything, and I could just pump it out. And yeah, it might not get as many views as it does now. I might get a dip in viewership, but it's not my fault. There's no wrestling to talk about, and I'm sure you guys will understand that. And for everything else, I feel like, what do you guys want to say? Comment down below. What would you guys want to see me talk about? I've been thinking about doing retro reviews for old New Japan shows, because I've been watching New Japan for the last few years, but I've only known about it since 2015. There's a lot of shows from prior to 2015 that I have never seen before. There's a lot of matches from prior to 2015 that I've never seen before. So I would like to go back and watch some of those recommendations. Stardom. I just started getting to Stardom months ago. Trust me, anything before 2019, I likely have never seen from Stardom. So, comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see. Like, WWE. I've been a wrestling fan of WWE since I was, 5, 6 years old. So, I've seen plenty of WWE over the last few years, but there's plenty of pay-per-views I've never seen because, mind you guys, growing up, my parents couldn't afford pay-per-views, so I didn't watch them. I would go to NewDQ.com and get my results. That's the only way I'd be informed of what happened on, Elimination Chamber or whatever. So there's a lot of pay-per-views I've never seen in the last, really 10 to 15 years that I go back and watch. One I've been wanting to do for a long time is ECW One Night Stand 2005. I've never seen that show. Never. Not once. So, I'm going to go back and watch that. Some WCW shows. I've never seen a lot of WCW because I didn't grow up on it. There's a lot of things I feel like I personally can do, but I will want you guys' input. Do you guys want to see me talk about more wrestling? I know this is a good time for me to branch out and see what else I'm capable of and can do. I can't really do vlogs because I'm not going anywhere. We're going to be basically locked down in our city, in our state. There's nowhere to travel to. I could talk about other things, maybe movies or TV shows or video games and stuff like the stuff I can do, the stuff I could talk about other than professional wrestling at the time. Because right now, professional wrestling is taking a humongous hit for the coronavirus, and I think all of us should be aware for it. That's kind of my update for the next however long this lasts for. Expect this channel to be a lot more retro, New Japan, Stardom, WWE, a lot of old shows being reviewed, maybe some indie shows I've never seen, because we got to put a lot of spotlight on independent wrestling because they're going to take a hit from this the most. Expect maybe some gaming videos very soon. I haven't played video games in a long time. So maybe that's one thing I want to try to get back into is video games. I might be doing that. Maybe I'll try inviting some independent wrestlers on my channel to play some video games with. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while now. I was able to get Marco Stunt on last year. Maybe we could try to get someone else on this year. That'd be really fun. But yeah, I don't want this video going on too long. That's really my update of what's been going on with my channel and Wrestlemania and all that kind of stuff. It's just a really madhouse right now in the entire world. And I'm sure you heard it from everybody else, but I'm going to tell you the same exact thing. Everyone, please stay safe. If you don't have to travel, don't travel. I mean, if you are forced to stay home, then by all means, stay home. Don't go out and social. I'll be going to bars and drink. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. If you have, you're going to give it to someone else. And if someone else have it, guess what? They're most likely going to give it to you. And symptoms don't always show up right away for people like my age. If I were to get it, I mean, isn't there a basketball player who has it and, has like no symptoms whatsoever? Like, people could be walking around with the virus and not even know that they have it. So just be careful about who you interact with, who you talk to. Wash your hands as much as possible. Don't touch your face. I know it's difficult. I've done it at least like 3 times today, and I'm just like, stop doing it. But just take precaution. Do your research. Don't scare yourself. I know a lot of people have been doing that. I've been scaring myself, honestly and truly. But like, do your research, but don't look so deep into it that you're scaring yourself into not doing things, because you gotta live your life at the end of the day. If you get it, you're gonna get it. If I get it, I'm gonna get it. And there's nothing I can do about it. But other than that, that's the video. Thank you all for watching. A rough time a lot of us are going through right now, but hey, have each other's backs. We're all in this together, right? But yeah, I will be doing a Wednesday Night War stream this Wednesday. It will be very interesting, as it will be no people on both NXT and AEW. That should be probably the most interesting Wednesday Night War stream I've ever done. So I hope you all tune in for that. And yeah, I love you guys always, and I will talk to you later. Peace out, guys.